Nancy Guthrie confessed everything in the note she left behind for her daughter, Savannah Guthrie. In the quiet hours before dawn on a cold February morning in 2026, Nancy sat alone at her modest wooden desk inside her longtime Catalina Foothills home, a burnt adobe sanctuary she had cherished for decades near Campbell Avenue and Skyline Drive in Tucson, Arizona. The house had witnessed her happiest memories and her deepest sorrows, serving as a refuge through every season of her life. At 84 years old, her hands trembled slightly as she lifted her pen, yet the ink moved steadily across the page. This was not an ordinary letter but a deeply personal confession, the release of emotions she had carried silently for most of her life. Addressed to her youngest daughter, Savannah, the accomplished and beloved anchor of NBC's Today Show, Nancy's words were honest, vulnerable, and shaped by decades of endurance. She began by admitting that she had spent much of her life appearing strong for others while hiding her own fears, writing that she had smiled through storms and carried burdens quietly, but now felt compelled to tell the truth and acknowledge that she had never been as unbreakable as everyone believed. The note was discovered days later after Nancy's sudden disappearance shocked the nation. What began as a missing person report on February 1st, 2026 quickly evolved into a frightening investigation when authorities found her home disturbed and her pacemaker monitoring app mysteriously disconnected. Law enforcement agencies launched an urgent search as concerns spread across the country. Savannah publicly pleaded for her mother's safe return, appearing alongside her siblings Annie and Cameron in emotional messages shared online, urging anyone with information to help bring their mother home. The family offered rewards while community members gathered for prayer vigils, holding candles and hoping for a miracle. Nancy's fragile health made the situation increasingly dire. She suffered from cardiac issues, high blood pressure, and depended on daily medication, unable to walk far without assistance. Each passing hour deepened fears that time was running out. Tragically, hope gave way to heartbreak. On February 10th, 2026, authorities confirmed that Nancy's body had been discovered in a remote area outside Tucson. Investigators believed she had been the victim of a kidnapping that ended disastrously. Details remained limited, but grief spread nationwide as condolences poured in for her family. Amid mourning, Savannah shared portions of her mother's letter on air, struggling through tears as she read words that revealed the private emotional world Nancy had long concealed. The confession transformed the note into a lasting legacy, offering insight into a woman defined not only by strength and faith, but also by vulnerability and sacrifice. Though Nancy never intended the letter to serve as a farewell, it became her final message, revealing the depth of love she held for her family and the quiet burdens she had carried alone. Nancy Ellen Long was born on January.
This incident started with the calls for a male shooting at Buford's Bar on West 6th Street. Officers immediately transitioned, came over East 6th to West 6th Street, and were faced with the individual with the gun, and 3 of our officers returned fire, killing the suspect.
We received the call at 1:59 a.m. and within 57 seconds, the first paramedics and officers were on scene actively treating the patients. We had a total of 17 patients on the scene. 14 of those were transported to the hospital. 3 were pronounced dead on scene. Of the 14 patients who were transported to the hospital, 3 were in critical condition. As I said, our condolences go out to everyone that was involved, and we'll be back with more information in the future.